Hello everyone, Friday, March 12th, 2021. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day, so that means it is time for the new comic book video. A really large week for books, probably one of the biggest weeks I've had in a long time. So we have a lot of books to show, so we are going to just jump right into it. First one from DC, The Joker. This was the big release for DC. This was cover A. I picked up a few covers of this one. The blank cover B in, the blank cover with Joker green on it. So you had to get one of those. I thought this was a real nice looking cover, so I picked one of these up. The Matina cover with Punchline on it. And then this was a exclusive to one of the shops here in town. I don't know why they call them exclusives, because these do get sent to a various number of shops across the country. But I guess since only one or two shops in town gets them, they call it an exclusive. So this was that cover there. Picked one up, got it at a good price, so I thought I would grab one. And that was it for DC. I am looking forward to reading that storyline to see what they do with it, because as you know, big Joker fan. Next up, The Amazing Spider-Man number 55, third printing. I really like the color pattern on this one with the blue on the back background. This was a really cool looking cover to begin with. The first one was the white, then second print was red. Third print is the blue. I kind of like this one the best, even though it's not going to have the value that the first print does. Next up, Amazing Spider-Man number 61 on page number 2, I believe. It's going to show the new costume. And it looked kind of neat. It's a little different. If you're an old school Spider-Man fan, you probably won't like it. But you know what? It was a little different. That's a really nice looking cover right there. There were different covers they came out with that. I just picked that one up there. Really cool cover. This is pretty much a cover purchase here. Immortal Hulk 44, kind of an old school, kind of like a Kirby right there. Just kind of a cool looking, old school Hulk. Like early Avengers Hulk, something like that. Really, really cool. New storyline came out. Non-Stop Spider-Man number 1. Had this cover here. And a really cool concept that I thought that they did was this one here. It's a die cut, but you had this here. And then this portion of the cover, if I can do it, comes off. And you have the die cut cover underneath it. There's the interior page right there. So kind of cool. I mean, I think they did this in the 60s for a few times to protect the book, but I just thought it was kind of a cool concept right here. I saw some people pick books up and then drop them because they didn't realize that, the outside cover of this falls off. And so it's like, congratulations, you hold in your hand a genuine Marvel Comics no cover. Remove this and shelve the Marvel masterpiece inside. Handle with care. Kind of cool. So, good concept. Kind of an old school feel. Liked it. Picked one up. Very happy with that. And then finally, Daredevil 26. Cover A. And then a really nice homage cover right there. Of course, there was the famous cover with Daredevil hanging over the cross. And so I saw this and it was a must to get. Really, really cool cover right there. That was it for Marvel, and that was it for the mainstream books. Now, independents that came out, and there were some really nice independent books that came out. First one, which was a really good seller, I read this one, I liked it. Carmen, number 1 from Image, cover A. Hard to find it in high grade because of the red. There was a lot of spine damage on a lot of the books. I was able to find a couple of really clean copies, so I was happy with that. And then cover B. There. If you read this book, leave a comment in the, in the comments down below so I know what you thought about it. And then a couple of cover purchases here. Vampirella number 18. Cool cover there. And then another cover here, kind of sitting on her throne with all the dead bodies around her. Storyline I'm really looking forward to. This is Black Hammer Visions #2. It's kind of reminded me of kind of like an old EC cover right there with the axe, just the axe itself. Kind of cool. That was one cover. And then another really nice looking cover right there. Hopefully this will be a halfway decent story because I did like the first Black Hammer series. I'm looking forward to this one here. Maniac of New York #2, our semi-Jason ripoff from Friday the 13th. Scout's Honor #3. Didn't enjoy this issue as much as I did the first two, but you know what? I do like the concept of this story, so I'm going to continue buying it. Right here, Scout's Honor #3. Another book I'm looking forward to. I read this one. I liked it. I thought the concept was pretty nice. I kind of like the characters in the book, the 4 females that they had. This is Proctor Valley Road #1, cover A. Cover B. And then they had a couple of different, there was like a 1 in 10 cover, and then I believe there is a 1 in 25 Peach Momoko cover. No interest in any of those, but I did like the first 2 here covers, and I did enjoy the story on that. And then kind of an under the radar cover, a very suggestive cover, as you will. This is Zombie Tramp, right there. She's eating a finger, but it doesn't look like she's eating the finger. You can use your own imagination. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't pick that up, but it was selling fairly decent. But most shops only get a couple of covers of Zombie Tramp, so I don't think it's going to be a real easy cover to find right there. There was that. That's what I picked up this week. Like I stated, a really big week for books. So I'm excited to have got that and been able to financially afford a big week finally. I'm starting to get back a little bit better as we move forward. I went through a bunch of boxes again, like I stated, in my storage unit, just going through stuff. And I found some Vampirillas and some Lady Deaths that I thought I would show because I don't show a lot of that here. First one up, Vampirella, Holy War #1. This is an ash can. Right there, kind of neat. Lady Death #1 from April of 2001 from Chaos Comics. Really nice looking cover. These are just some covers that I liked. A lingerie issue #1. There you go. This is Lady Death. This is Last Rites #1, also from Chaos. Nice looking cover there. And this is Mischief Night, Lady Death #1. This is from November of 2001, also from Chaos. Kind of a cool looking cover right there. From July of 2002, Lady Death Reimagined, issue 1. Lady Death cover here. Didn't have an issue number. I didn't write an issue number on the back of the board, so I can't remember off the top of my head what issue this was. I don't know if I showed this one already or not. I don't think I did. Nice Lady Death here, also from Chaos Comics. If I did, I apologize. I do know I showed that one. Lady Death Tribulation #4. Nice cover. Last Rites #3 of 4. And then a couple of trades I found. This is Vampirella and the Blood Red Queen of Hearts. Right here. And then the Reckoning Revised of Lady Death here. Not expensive books. Lady Death is not really expensive. Also on one of these books, I forgot to mention that, where's it at here? This one here could be considered a bondage cover. As you can see, the snakes keeping her tied down. So a bondage cover, but a different type of reimagining of the bondage cover, using snakes to keep her tied up. So there was some Lady Death and some Vampirellas I found. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I did pick up an older book the other day. This is from 1968. It's a Thor number 160, classic Kirby cover, and this is also the Battle of Galactus versus Ego. Right here, pretty nice looking cover. You can never go wrong with sweet Kirby art. So there was that there. It's middle of the grade, mid-grade, but these books are not that expensive. You can pick these books up, $10 to $12 in mid-grade condition. So, grab it whenever you can because it's a 12 center and it's a nice mid-grade copy. Thor is one of those books we've talked about. Thor, Daredevil, from these areas here. Books are relatively inexpensive and pretty easy to find. So if you do, find it. Pick one up. Next up, I'm just going to show a few random covers because I do get, a lot of requests to do that. So I thought, let me just, show a couple of things. First one up from 1979, The New Invaders, double size issue 41. This is the last issue in the storyline. And again, you can get this on high grade, not real expensive. And I like it because you got Captain America, you got Human Torch, you got Submariner, just a nice little battle scene right there. So, why would you not want to grab that? Again, this was a 1979. It was a 60 center because it was a double issue. A book that I don't think gets a lot of attention. This is Venom number 1. I believe this is 2011 if I'm not mistaken. But you can pick this up in the $20 to $30 range in high grade. And I think it's kind of cool looking cover right there, but I don't think it gets a lot of attention. But still, really nice. The Venom is like super, super buff, like he's, going for like Mr. Universe or something, but still, it's a number 1. Why not grab it? A book that's getting a little bit of attention and is a nice book. Doesn't have a real high price point, so it's a very affordable, high grade book. And this is Amazing Spider-Man 363. Venom, Carnage, and Spider-Man on the same cover. Really, really cool. Kind of like that. There's the 3 heads sitting there. Always like that cover. Book right up my alley, but these are kind of hard to find in high grade, and they're not that easy to find. And when you do find them, you have to pay a pretty good price to get them. This is Halloween Night Dance. Michael Myers cover right there. Next up is Grim Fairy Tale Sleepy Hollow, number 2, cover B, signed by Ali Garza. Always like that cover right there. Got the old Headless Horseman in the background. Kind of a fun cover here. This is Hulk, number 13. Giving Deadpool a little squeeze right there. Another book that's kind of fun. Get it in the $8 to $12 range. Just a fun book. Of course, there was a Deadpool book that just came out, Deadpool 30 Years. But they have so many Deadpool books come out that, you know what, you can pick them up for the covers because the stories haven't been all that great, but you can find fun covers like that because Deadpool is a fun character. And of course, it's going to get more and more popular as the next movie comes out, and so there's going to be more heat on that character. Next up is Oz, issue number 1, cover E. Nice cover right there. Had a couple little dings on the cover right there. But you know what? It's a cool looking cover. And then finally, we have Image did a book called 68, and it was like a Vietnam zombie storyline. Really cool covers, really good storyline that I liked. And this was a Jimi Hendrix zombie cover right here. Always liked that cover. So I pulled that out to show everybody, and there it is. Those are the books I picked up this week. Those are the books, some of the covers that I liked, and some of the Lady Death of Vampirella. And then, of course, the Thor book number 160. And again, Zombie Tramp right there. Kind of a, one of those covers that you don't think about. And then, a couple years from now, you're going to find it in the Overstreet, suggestive cover. So there was that. I spoke about, the baseball card industry, the hobby card industry, as prices are just kind of going out of hand. And if you see the prices that were going out of hand, I stated in that video that these levels are not going to sustain, and they're not. They're starting to go down a little bit because some of the prices, there is a big manipulation going on in the hobby. And I know a lot of people out there that collect like Pokemon, or even like myself who collects vintage cards, or whatnot. But some of the prices on these cards, I mean, a Kobe Bryant 10 we talked about sold for $500,000 for a chrome refractor PSA 10. And again, I've seen a lot of videos. I watch a ton of YouTube videos, both on comic book people as well as the card hobby, the card industry, because I was really heavily involved in the card industry for many, many years, selling at shows. So I always keep my finger on the pulse for things like that. And you can hear them now talking about, this particular card, such and such, sold for $55,000, 3 weeks ago, and now it's sold for $29,000. So the prices are really dropping. People, what happens is people get hot on things. This is kind of like the Pogs in the early 90s, where, that one summer made a killing on Pogs. I sold Pogs, I made an absolute killing. But you knew it was just going to be a fad. It was going to go in and out real fast. So when the pandemic hit, a lot of people were sitting around at home. There wasn't a whole lot to do. So a lot of people jumped into the card market. Basketball had the big three, Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan. And I started selling some stuff just to get rid of it because I knew that level wasn't going to sustain. I sold a Jordan card for like $300 and got a great price on it because everybody was just kind of in a feeding frenzy. And that same card now sells for about $130. So, I mean, you know what? It's not going to last. So if you have some stuff, dump it, because what's going to happen is the market always goes up and down. People trying to make a fast dollar. I don't know how it is. I know a lot of places in the country, people just kind of camp out at Targets and Walmarts waiting for that guy to put the hanger packs up. They snatch them off for, $14, $15, whatever. They sell them on eBay for $65, $70, but they are literally spending hours and hours at these Targets waiting for this guy to come in and put the hanger packs up. So Target has put up a lot of things, so well as Walmart. You can get like 1 to 3 items is all you're allowed to get. But again, this market's going to dry up real fast, and you're going to be able to pick that stuff up cheap. But if you're buying the stuff thinking you're going to make the quick dollar, you might make some money right now, but chances are you're probably going to lose a lot of money as well. And then I had a good comment from a viewer, you know who you are, talking about how he doesn't agree with my CGC stuff, but he appreciates the content of my channel and enjoys watching the channel. And you know what? That's what it's all about. I say this all the time. The comments and the opinions I have on this channel are my opinions. I'm glad that there are people out there who agree with my opinions, but there are people out there who don't agree with the opinions. And I don't get upset about that because, again, in this industry, in this hobby, you should be able to express your opinion without being, smashed for having it. Or someone should be able to listen to what you have to say and say, you know what, I appreciate your opinion, but I don't agree with it. And that's fine. And you move forward and you continue doing what you're going to do. You're going to do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I just don't believe in the grading standards that CGC has, because I think that there is a manipulation in the market as it relates to key issues getting a higher grade than what they should because of the cost factor involved. And that if you're sending in, hundreds and hundreds of books, there's no way you're going to tell me that the person who's sending in all these books isn't getting a little tweak on the grade. So, I mean, it's the nature of the beast. It's like that with a lot of things in life, whether it's, person who puts in big orders for, items for, clothing or whatever, they're going to get a little discount. There's always a discount. You're going to get maybe a little bit better or a little bit looser standards to help you out a little bit more. And as it relates to the grading companies, PSA, I said, was going to jump on it to try to make their money on it. And they did. They've doubled their prices for grading cards. And the turnaround time for a regular card to get graded right now is roughly about 10 to 11 months, unless you pay for like, $70 a card or whatever the price is to get it back. You can get it back in probably 30 days. But even the quick turnaround times, they're not really having it. So, I mean, PSA is going to try to make their money on grading, and they should. There's a couple of new grading companies that have come out that, people seem to like, but you know what? It's getting harder and harder to get cards graded into that as well. So there was that. Again, the little comments I make are just my comments. You don't have to agree with them, but I do appreciate all the content, all the comments I get on the video, and I appreciate all the viewers. I appreciate the fact that you like this and that a lot of you, enjoy the content of this channel, because I enjoy hearing from you. And so there was that. If you're a subscriber to the channel, thank you very much for subscribing. If you're not, hit that subscribe button or hit the little bell so you know when new content comes up on the channel. So other than that, I hope you liked the video, but as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great day. Happy hunting, and be careful buying those cards. You might end up losing on the end.